to look at those two issues of whether it's a Founders Day with a Founder Day, meaning that we're celebrating just one person and the supporters of the other, or it's a Founders Day that has the collective one or more persons in that fight.
Yeah, I want to believe that he wants to consolidate everything. He wants to recognize all those who matters in by way of founding Ghana, and he wants us to agree as a nation on the fundamentals or the criteria that we need to put in place. But again, he mentioned that we should be masters of our own game, and for me, it was a very powerful statement. Being masters of our own game, the fact that we are able to mobilize resources from within to support our own development, and the fact that Ghana beyond aid is very critical. It shouldn't be mere words. I want us to walk our talk, that we are not all about aid. We should also have good terms of trade, so we will be able to mobilize enough. I think he's made a lot of powerful statements that needs to be unbundled at the point of implementation.
Dr. Sai, Eric will say, but well,
I think it was quite inspirational.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, being his maiden address, I think he sought to inspire the nation and bring the nation along with him with the policies that he has. And I think was very explicitly delivered. I mean, there were not too many hiccups, you know, in terms of delivery, and I think that's a good start for him. In terms of policies, I mean, it was quite startling telling us about the state of the Ghanaian economy, particularly with the fiscal, you know, that in fact we are in double-digit fiscal deficit if we take into consideration the arrears and commitment that the country has done. And so that's about 10.2%. That is budget deficit by commitment alone. By cash is about 9%. And for me, I asked myself, so did we go or did we come? I mean, to put in that comment, because as he rightly said, when we went to the IMF, it was because we have recorded, you know, 3 successive double-digit fiscal deficit. You know, that was really putting the economy under serious stress. That's the main reason why we have to go to the IMF and, you know, go through all the adjustments, the conditionalities, increasing taxes here and there, tariffs increasing by 65%, and a whole lot of austerity measures that was actually imposed on us. If after going through all that we still have a budget deficit of 10%, then really it's a sad situation for us as a country. I mean, you're talking about debt to GDP, I mean, ballooning to about 74%, that is about 122 billion Ghana cedis. That is really huge. I mean, so when we say we're fiscally consolidating, what really were we doing?
But in your view, is this a true picture of the economy, how it looks like? Because one of the things we've realized and witnessed over the period is that it's expected, undoubted. The NDC would come and also paint what they would describe as their picture of how the economy looks like. So facts are facts depending on the lenses you're wearing. So the president comes and says, these are facts. The minority will come and counter with their own set of facts.
No,
depending on the lenses
how
you're
could
wearing.
that be?
What's the true state
I mean,
of the
I mean,
nation
we have
as
to,
speak?
we have to stay away from that kind of, you know, I mean, facts, are, like you said, are facts. And I mean, once you cannot have a double facts. If inflation is 13.3%, you cannot say that as for us, inflation is 22%. If the exchange rate is depreciating by about 5% and is today 4 cedis, 50 pesos, you cannot say that for us it is 3 cedis. You know, so these are stylized facts that are empirically verifiable. You can go there and check whether indeed that is true. Of course, we have the IMF in place, and the IMF, you know, if you don't believe what the government is saying, you can take an IMF paper and to see really what is the case. But despite these challenges, I think the president did not, you know, actually stop there. He said that despite these challenges, he's been given the power or the authority to fix them, you know, to make sure he remedy the situation. And for me, I think that is the most important thing. I mean, the challenges are there. All government year in, year out, whenever they are taking office, there are usually challenges, but it is up to you to, find remedies to, bring them or restore that kind of stability that is needed. And so now the challenges are over. We have to look forward. And so I'm quite thrilled by some of the policy measures, although they were not detailed enough.
It says we should wait for the budget.
Right.
Prof.
Good. I think the speech well written and well presented, and I'm quite impressed on the president's confidence and the way he made his presentation. You see, there are 3 important days in everybody's life. That is yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Also in the nation life, 3 important days are yesterday, today, and tomorrow. The president did very well in painting the picture of yesterday. In other words, what they inherited. In any case, there's no news there, because every government, no government, especially when the party changes, give a picture of yesterday that we are handed a great economy.
Absolutely.
Even recently, Donald Trump yesterday said that Obama handed over to him a mess. So that is always the case. So that there are no surprises there. The fact that he painted, okay, I want to believe that they are true, because they are facts, they are figures. That is one side of the fact.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, one side of the fact.
Exactly.
Yeah, very good.
So you would have
very good. The NDC will be coming back and say, look, yes, we may have 74% debt to GDP ratio, but this is what we did with the money. Okay, so they're also going to come up with their version. But what he painted, let's assume that is true, because he couldn't be making them up, because they are figures. You can go back and check if you want to. They are open data figures. If it's true, which I think is true, although it's just part of the facts, then it's quite serious. But I like one statement is made, which is very fundamental to me. I'm not elected to complain. I'm elected to do things and fix things. That is where the tomorrow comes for me. On the issue of tomorrow, you spoke about agriculture extensively. He spoke about the issue of jobs extensively. In agriculture, he talked about how he's going to fix it. On the issue of jobs, he announced some policy intervention, which he think, if he implement those, he will fix the problem of jobs. I'm not so sure there. Then he's also talk about the issue of energy, that he will try and fix the issue of energy.
Major issue.
Yeah, so on the economy, he talks about the agriculture as the plank of developing this economy. He talks about the what they call the job situation, and he talk about energy. But on social interventions, he talk about education.
Right.
I like his statement that education is the key.
Precisely. But there was not much detail.
That's the issue.
Sure. Which he says is going to be in the budget.
Yes. Well, no. It's more than that. When you say education is the key to develop our economy, that key aspect is actually beyond secondary school education.
Right.
Secondary school graduates don't develop an economy. It's the tertiary institutions who are going to produce people who are being entrepreneurs who develop the economy.
I think then the focus should be on technical.
No. Well, not necessarily. The focus have to be on all
skills.
But he only elaborated on secondary schools.
Right.
But again, it's a starter. I'm sure the budget will give it clear. But it's very clear and very correct that in today's knowledge economy, education is the key. And let's not assume that previous governments have not done anything. The education issue for us is a big issue, and you scratch part of it, somebody will go and somebody will come and scratch part of it. So let's hope that intervention policy and education. On intervention, you also talk about the health sector.
Right.
You only talk about national health service. They have the schemes. He didn't talk much about how he's going to develop the health sector. He talked about restoring allowances to teachers and health professionals. But that is not really something that develops sector. Energy, what is it? The last one is the corruption.
Yeah.
I think Nana-Addo have actually built himself into somebody with an image of incorruptible.
Right.
We trust him for that. Okay. But whether his other people will rally with this corruption issue is left to be said. But all in all, it's a good speech.
Fantastic. Dr. Sai, finally, there's a lot of sometimes that contradictions, I mean, among the academia about some of these things. Finally, on this and what the true state of the nation is.
What I think we need to do and going forward is to find a way of resolving this disagreements amongst political parties when it comes to figures and data. But the president put a lot of figures out there. The question I was asking myself with the source of the data, because it's very important we get sources coming from identified state institutions, and then we also have to also pick up the challenge. It's very important, and then this booing must also stop. I think as institutions, as parliament, we are growing, and then also we should make sure that we walk our talk. Punctuality, he mentioned, is very important, and we should all accept the challenge and run with it.
Fantastic. Punctuality, and that's exactly what we're doing right here. Dr. Osai, I thank you so much, and I thank you also, Professor Jono, and also Dr. Eric Osai also for joining us. Thank you for doing the watching and for listening as well on radio. Stay with us here on our various platforms. We're going to do continuous analysis and discussions on the various issues that the President Pres.Addo-Akufo put out in the State of Nation address.